First at 6 this Friday morning, the Labor Day weekend travel rush is on. If you're hitting the roads or the skies, we've got you covered. Good morning. Happy Friday. Thanks for starting yours off with us at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus America areas.
And I'm Bridget Buerlo. Hope your Friday's off to a great start. Maybe you're even off today, kicking off your Labor Day weekend a bit early. You are going to have to battle some showers, so Samson Perry is tracking them all.
Especially this afternoon, we'll have some spotty showers around, but nothing severe.
Okay.
Yeah, there could be a lightning flash, a clap of thunder, but I think mostly it's going to be just some vanilla fudge showers in the afternoon. And we had an isolated shower move to eastern Connecticut. Here's your coffee, Fox 61 morning coffee break here. And our school bus forecast. How about if I get on this side, everyone, so you can see? Partly to mostly cloudy this morning. Again, an isolated shower had just passed eastern Connecticut. Spotty showers this afternoon. You can see temperatures are in the 50s and 60s this morning, 55 in Torrington, the 63 Hartford, the 71 in New Haven. And yeah, a little bit of winds out of the south, Groton, New London up to 20 miles per hour, a little convergence zone. So you see live Doppler has a few scattered showers just moving now into Rhode Island, but central western Connecticut right now is dry and put it into motion. And this is really the convergence zone where you're getting a little bit of converging air masses and some showers. But it's back here where you get the cold front that will be moving in this afternoon. So this afternoon, look for a couple of scattered showers. Otherwise, not a bad day with high temperatures topping out in the 70s. I'll detail that all-important holiday weekend forecast coming up in a few minutes. Now on over to traffic to Erica. How are we doing this 6 o'clock hour?
Good. I want to hear more about the vanilla fudge.
Yes.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds pretty good. Maybe in the break you can update us. Let's take a look at traffic here. We've got your traffic flow map going. No problems except New Haven, and we're going to have a little bit more on that in just a second. Capital City looking good. Hartford drive times no issues whatsoever. It's only going to set you back 6 minutes from Glastonbury to the Founders Bridge, getting over on Route 2. And we've got Waterbury drive times. Brass City looking great as well. No issues whatsoever. We're going to hop on over to New Haven. There we have a little bit of a slowdown from New Haven to Bridgeport. You're looking at 30 minutes there on 95 South, but not a big deal at 6:02. Heading into a big Labor Day weekend. And Fairfield County, not so bad as well. We've got just a little bit of a slowdown from Bridgeport to Fairfield. You're slowing down to 47 miles per hour there on 95 South. That's going to take you 7 minutes as we head outside. Get you an up-close view. We've got I-84, the Mixmaster heading in there. And the Brass City looking pretty good. If you're heading out, have a great day and a great weekend. Stay safe. Of course, Labor Day weekend is one of the busiest times of the year when it comes to travel.
This includes out on the roads. Fox 61's Joe Monte joining us now in studio with when you should get out the door if you're traveling on the road, as well as what you should be careful of this year. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. Labor Day weekend is basically here, and we want to make sure you have a great weekend. To do that, you've got to get wherever you're going safe, especially if you're traveling on the road. It's important to remember that a lot of other people will be too. Information released by AAA shows that 85% of people traveling for the holidays do so by car. If you're traveling today, AAA recommends you do so before noon to avoid some of that afternoon traffic. On Saturday, they recommend you travel as early as you can. High volumes of people will be on the road pretty much all day Saturday. If you have plans to be anywhere on time, make sure you get out the door early and with time to spare. AAA recommends as early as 6 a.m. On Sunday and Monday, we get back to beating traffic by leaving in the late morning or before noon. The worst time to travel this Labor Day weekend is during the afternoon and evening. You not only deal with traffic, but you're more likely to get into an accident. Part of the danger on the roads, especially with such a high volume of cars, are impaired and distracted drivers. We are still in what's considered the 100 deadliest days of summer, according to the Connecticut Department of Transportation. 35 to 40% of deaths on Connecticut roads are due to impaired drivers. It's important you make sure to enjoy your weekend, but it's also important to make sure alcohol and substances don't lead to problems on the road. Eva Zamaris with the Connecticut DOT says what to do if you see someone at a party trying to leave while impaired.
Take their keys away. Do not let them drive. They may be mad and upset with you in the moment, but tomorrow when they wake up and they are safe and they are alive, they're going to be so grateful that you spoke up and stood up to make sure that they were safe.
Zamaris says local and state police are going to be out in full force on the roads to ensure they are as safe as possible. The Department of Transportation says that if you plan to drink or use substances or do anything that might make you impaired, plan to stay where you are until you're sober or have someone else take you home. In studio, Joe Monte, Fox 61.
Joe, thanks so much. Yeah, we want everybody to stay safe. We don't want anyone to end up as a news story. Right? We don't want to do that as well. All right, well, in our next half hour, we're going to be heading out to Bradley International Airport in Windsor Locks with what the TSA is asking people to do. Plus, we're going to share why checking in your baggage is going to look a little bit different.
And switching gears this morning, police confirmed the Minneapolis Catholic school shooter carried 3 weapons as he opened fire inside that church. 2 kids died in the shooting. They were attending Mass with their classmates at the time at the church on site. Now, Minnesota leaders joined with the parents of the victims, and they say they want reform and action when it comes to gun safety. The father of one of the 8-year-olds, Fletcher Merkel, spoke about what he wants people to do.
As our family and the Annunciation community grieve and try to make sense of such a senseless act of violence, please remember Fletcher for the person he was and not the act that ended his life. Give your kids an extra hug and kiss today.
10-year-old Harper Moisky was also killed in this school shooting. It also hurt more than a dozen of their classmates. Right now, investigators are examining social media videos and writings from the suspected shooter to determine a motive. And here in Connecticut, that heartbreak in Minneapolis reopens old wounds. 13 years after Sandy Hook, 2 local families who lost their own children are now reaching out with empathy, strength, and a message of hope for the road ahead. Fox 61 Stephen Reels has that story this morning.
As families grapple with the heartache and the numbness caused by the shooting in Minneapolis, those same feelings were felt right here in Connecticut 13 years ago. And now those emotions have come back.
It breaks my heart for the families that they're about to embark on a really hard journey.
A journey Jenny Hubbard is more familiar with than any parent would like to be. Hubbard's 6-year-old daughter, Catherine, was one of the 20 students who were killed during the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. Now a mirror for what families need to process in Minneapolis.
The reality is that these families right now are thinking about, how do I breathe? And how do I explain to my family that we now are planning a funeral?
For Hubbard, the journey toward healing came with the preservation of Catherine's memory.
She had a single purpose. She wanted to keep animals safe.
An animal sanctuary in Catherine's name, dedicated to highlighting nature and empathy between people.
Wherever you see an animal or a family of animals, you would probably find Catherine.
You don't get over it, you just continue to process it. And my heart breaks for these families.
Mark Barden lost a 7-year-old son, Daniel, in the 2012 shooting. Today, he champions the Sandy Hook Promise to help schools and students recognize the warning signs that could lead to similar situations like what took his son's life. Now the nonprofit is said to have helped prevent 18 school shootings and more than 1,000 suicides.
And all of those warning signs represent opportunities to intervene when you know the signs. And I felt like I owed it to him to do this in his honor, to be the caretaker of all living things, as we used to call him. I would hope and I would think that he'd be proud of the work that we're doing.
Several fundraisers have been started to help out the families who've been impacted in Minneapolis. So if you'd like to help, we have a list of verified GoFundMes on our website, FOX61.com. In Newtown, Stephen Reels, Fox 61.
Stephen, thank you. And after Wednesday's deadly shooting in Minnesota, the conversation about school safety is once again front and center. In Middletown, police say they're working every day to make sure that students and staff are protected. And that starts with school resource officers. The Middletown Police Department's community relations officer says school resource officers are an extra pair of eyes that can help diffuse dangerous encounters inside and outside of school. He says the school resource office and the police department as a whole go through extensive active shooter training.
You want to protect as many students and staff as possible. Obviously, we're not going to go into specifics of how we train or what we do in those situations, but you want to neutralize any threat to save as many lives as possible. We have to continuously train. In the event, we hope that it never does happen. But with incidents that have happened this week and in past, even here in Connecticut, it's important to train together, even with the staff and the students.
While resource officers' main job is to boost security, they also are meant to form bonds with students and parents. The officer we spoke with says parents and students who have questions about school resource officers should contact their office or just go up to them directly and talk to them at school. For the latest developments in Minnesota, download our FOX61 News app. It's free. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now, and that will take you to where you can easily download the app.
And happening today, people across the country are remembering the devastation caused by Hurricane Katrina. It's been 20 years since the storm raged ashore in Louisiana. The city of New Orleans was inundated by floodwaters. Many people became trapped in their homes as those floodwaters rose. You're taking a look at some of the damage left behind 20 years ago. Thousands of people are expected to gather today in the lower 9th Ward, where a federal levee system failed during that storm. A wreath will be laid to honor all the lives lost.
Some of the people have been there 5 days. No electricity, very little water. They'd run out of water, they'd run out of food.
2 days after Katrina made landfall, 80% of the city was flooded and underwater. 1,800 people across 4 states died.
6:11 right now, developing this morning. A Connecticut state trooper has been arrested after a domestic incident in Griswold. Officers say 37-year-old Edward Gookin was involved in a verbal and physical argument with a woman on Wednesday. Gookin faces a charge of disorderly conduct and has been placed on leave while administrative paid duty while the investigation continues.